So just going inside for a moment, and with the winter solstice coming up in about 24 hours from here, you might already be making your intentions, you might already have something written down. But for now, I'd just like you to imagine that you have a pencil and a piece of paper in your hand and something to lean on. And you're just going to take a few moments to write down your intentions for the solstice. Maybe something you'd like to put behind you, something you'd like to bring into your life, some prayers, some intentions concerning yourself or your loved ones. And we'll remember the group intention behind these meditations to help bring peace into this world. And so now, if you've done that, if you've written something down, or if you know what you want to say, you can fold up the piece of paper and put it in your pocket. Imagine you're doing that. And we'll begin our journey. So feeling your feet resting on the floor, as if planted there, and deepening your connection to the ground. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet, seeing them, perhaps with your mind's eye, as if you have a lamp, the kind of lamp worn by those who love to explore caves, like the lamps worn by night skiers, and it's attached to your forehead. And you discover that you can bring the light from the lamp wherever you want to focus. And now it's lighting the way beneath your feet. And you find that this lamp also has the ability to magnify, to enlarge your vision, and it can show you things that are not always visible to the physical eyes. It's as if your vision is down there and you can see this space, the interface between the soles of your feet and the surface of the floor. And with your pencil, yes, there's your pencil in your hand again. And you notice that the tip is not sharp. It is dull and rounded, the gray graphite gleaming softly, a soft point. And with your pencil, you begin to draw dots all over the soles of your feet, on the pads of your toes, on the balls of your feet, and on the skin of your heels. The point of the pencil doesn't hurt you, but you do feel it touching and gently pushing into the skin. You can feel each little dot tingling slightly, as if the skin beneath the dot is waking up. And now, from each of the dots you've made, and letting the lamp light your way, you begin to see tiny roots growing out from your feet, one slim root coming from each of the dots. You watch as the roots thread their way down through the surface beneath you. These roots, made from energy, though tiny, are incredibly strong. The roots find their way through the floor beneath you, down through the space of the room below you, if there is one. And if so, perhaps as you are passing through, you notice the things in that room, the furniture, the sources of light. Nothing can stop your roots. They can go down through anything, if that is your intention. And your roots continue through the layers of whatever is underneath you, traveling towards the ground. And depending on how high up you are above the surface of the earth, well, it could take a bit of time. In large cities, your roots may have to travel through many layers. And down there, you may be aware of the foundations of older, even ancient buildings, left behind by the people who lived in this place long ago. Or, depending where you are, you may very quickly reach down into the clear ground, the clean, fresh soil, ground that hasn't been altered very much by the waves of humans, the generations of people who have made their homes on the earth and traveled here for a while. Here, beneath you, As the roots keep threading their way downwards, you may see or be aware of layers of rock, shale, granite, startling shelves of beautiful quartz, soft glowing specks of precious metals, pockets of gas, and underground lakes and rivers, perhaps not silent to your hearing, tuned as it is to the pulsing, vibrating sounds of this living planet, your home, your mother, the earth. The roots, your roots, reaching for their home, the warmth deep within, deep in the core of the planet, the place where you may have thought there was silence and you may have imagined as dark. Here is a star, as bright as any star, all lit up with the colors of red and orange and yellow, and glowing deep in the fire, blue lights the color of the sky. And although, yes, it is very hot down here, it is the home your roots are looking for. They know it is where they belong. The fiery star doesn't burn them. They, as you know, are made from light as well. It is a case of light being attracted to light, life being drawn to itself. You understand that your roots, these roots made from energy, from light, seemingly delicate, fresh shoots, are among the strongest things anywhere. Here you see them planted in the core of the planet, in the care of the planet, deep within our world. This bright, hot star living down there like a sun, shining in the darkness. And leaving the ends of your roots anchored into the core, leaving them to drink from the warmth of the planet, you begin to long for the daylight, and your focus moves upwards and outwards. Gently, easily, your focus moves to the surface of the earth. And you find yourself standing at the top of a green hill. From here, where you are standing, you have a good view of this place. You can see everything. From here, from above, you can see the lay of the land. You can get to know the place from a bit of a distance, since you've just arrived. You know that it's harder to see things, to see everything, when you're right down there in the middle of it all. And there's a path in front of you, the bare earth beaten down by the feet of all of the people who have walked here before you. And on either side of the hard-packed, trodden path, although it's already winter in this place, the weather has been mild so far, and everything is still green, the grass and the small shrubs. And you can see that the path winds its way down over the hill towards a small village, a single string of houses, following the curve of land as it gives way to a stony, rocky beach. A beach in the shape of a crescent moon. The beach embracing the sea stretching out to the horizon, and above it all, a glorious sky. And you wonder if there might be whales out there in the ocean. You wonder if you might be able to see them leaping out of the water and making great big splashes as they land back into the water. And you think of the fish that might be swimming there under the surface, the fish that swim in these northern waters, and the different seasons marking their arrival and their departure as they follow the changing temperature of the water. The salmon, and the schools of iridescent mackerel with their markings of blue and green and purple, and the sparkling silvery herring, the entire mass of small fish moving through the salt water as if one body, moving ribbons of flashing silver light, following the currents, the flow of the water, tuned into an inner map, a compass, each small herring swimming in time and in formation with the whole. And looking up into the sky, you see a flock of small birds, like specks of black pepper. And as if copying the herring, the birds are all flying together in one big shape, making patterns in the sky, following the air currents, each one somehow communicating with the whole, wings stretched out and beating time together. And you know that eventually the whole flock of birds will land somewhere together, on a hillside or on a large rock out in the ocean, and they will rest for a while. If you had come by car to this place, you would have left your car in the small parking lot just behind you. Looking down at the village below you, you can see that there's no place for cars. The small cottages are arranged in a single curving line, like a string of beads. You imagine an invisible thread connecting them, one to the next. You can see that the houses are old. You can see that they were built from the stones from the beach. You wonder who those original people were, the ones who came here and built these houses. You wonder where they came from and when, and why they came, and if they walked a long way to get to here, or if they came over the sea by boat. And for a moment, you wonder at the great migrations of people, the movement of people over the planet that has been going on forever. The individuals, the small groups, and the great processions, the larger groups of souls who have journeyed over the face of the earth. The wandering tribes who considered large areas of the land to be their homes, who roamed freely over the land, following their own migratory patterns, following the seasons, following herds of animals, finding nourishment on the land. And you think of those families who had lived in the same places for as long as anyone could remember, and suddenly having to leave. And some stolen away from their homes, from their loved ones, against their will. You think for a moment of all those souls moving across the face of the planet, the Great Mother, walking long distances, carrying the small children, supporting the elderly, or sailing great distances across the oceans, all of them sending their prayers along as they went, prayers home to the places and the people they had left behind, and sending prayers forward too, praying that the sun would come up the next day and that the path would be gentle, and that they would find kindness and comfort at their destination and welcome. But here now, standing on this green hill, at the beginning of the path down into the village below you, you imagine the people who came here to this particular place and settled here in this cove on the edge of the land. maybe having just come to the end of the road. And you imagine them building the houses, carrying the larger stones, whole families attending to the building of the homes, each stone house growing slowly, the beach never seeming to empty out of its stones, the small children lifting what they could, everyone playing their part, doing their best, the houses slowly taking shape, the walls, the stone fireplaces and chimneys, and the roofs going on, carefully patched over time, safe places, safe from the elements, safe from the storms that sometimes come through this place, and the hard winters with their long dark nights. And you imagine a family sitting around a fire and doing their best to lighten things up, telling stories, singing, and taking your first steps on the path. You begin to notice the feel of the sea air on your face. You notice the salt smell of the ocean. And lifting your sense of smell beyond the salty smell, you detect the scent of the vegetation you can see on the hills beyond the beach, the evergreen trees, and everywhere in between, grass filling up the spaces, so the whole hillside is a green patchwork of texture and pattern. And as well as the scents and the sights, you realize that all this time you have been hearing the sounds of the sea. You hear the waves as they reach onto the shore, and you hear the sound of the sand and the stones rolling together and being moved gently by the power of the outgoing waves. You settle into following this rhythm of the sea that is both sound and sensation, a sound that is like breathing, a feeling that is like breathing, the incoming and the outgoing. And you find you've arrived at the center of the village, right into the heart of it. You decide you're going to walk on the beach now. It's not very far. You walk across the little pathway made from stones and concrete that runs along in front of the houses. This is not the most beautiful beach you've ever seen. Small patches of sand here and there, but mostly it's stones. And here and there are rocks, bigger rocks. And you wonder if the rocks were dropped there during the last ice age. Perhaps a glacier went through here and scooped out this crescent shape and left the rocks behind, brought them from somewhere far away. Or maybe a glacier scouring the land that was here tore up great piles of ground, but wasn't able to shift the rocks. Maybe they were here already, sleeping under the surface of the land since the beginning. Today on this beach, you notice that you're not alone as you had thought. There is a child in the distance, not too far away, in a place where the sand and the smooth stones have given way to a shoal of rocks. And you can see another figure, the figure of an adult, walking over the beach close to the child. The child is jumping from rock to rock and sometimes reaching down into the pools of seawater that the last tide has left behind. And as you come closer, you begin to see that the child is familiar to you. It's something about the shape of the body, the posture, the color of the hair. You remember those clothes. You remember those shoes, those sneakers, the feel of them on your bare feet. You've seen yourself in photographs. You might remember the photographs being taken. Mostly, though, your memories of your younger self live in your mind. But there's no mistaking this child. As you get closer, the child notices you and comes over to where you are and smiles up at you. And the child says, "You came. We knew you would come today." And then the child and the one who's with the child, who seems to be watching over the child, fall into step beside you. And the three of you continue on your way along the beach, quietly picking your way over the colored stones. You have been picking up driftwood along the way, wondering if you might stop and build a small fire. And you come to a place that seems perfect for a fire. In fact, you can see that someone going that way before you has had the same idea, because in the center of a ring of perfectly placed stones from the beach, you see that there's already a fire burning. You can see that it's been made recently from driftwood. You can tell right away that the placing of this fire circle has been well considered. It's in a safe place, close to the sea, far away from those trees over on that green hill. And around the circle of stones that contains the fire, you see that there are some more of those big rocks, the ones that may have been left by the glacier. They're all flat on top and smooth, and perfectly placed for sitting on. And you decide that this must have been a good place for bonfires down through the ages, that many souls must have found this place and built their fires here, long before you came. And you imagine the generations of people who have sat here around their fires, keeping vigil over the dark nights, telling stories, singing. You've come to this place at a time in the winter when the days have been getting shorter. And you know that this will be the shortest day of all, and it will be the longest night of the year. It's the time of the year when the earth is at its most extreme tilt away from the sun. The winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere. And you remember that the ancient people in some places, maybe in this place, believed that when the sun went down on the shortest day, that it would die. And they sat through the long night, keeping vigil by their fires, and looking up at the familiar stars and the goddess moon for comfort. And when the sun rose again in the morning, they believed that the sun had been reborn. And they must have celebrated and felt great relief that the days would begin to lengthen out now. And warmer weather would eventually come over the land again. And the plants of the earth would wake up, and everything would move through another cycle. And so, as you know, the time of the winter solstice has been a time of regeneration, renewal, and self-reflection since ancient times. You are sitting on one of the big flat rocks by now, the child and the other one sitting near you. And you notice a basket sitting on the rock beside you. And without you even saying anything, the other one, the one who has been watching over the child, says, "No, it's for you. The people who live here left it for you. They knew you would be coming today, and they thought you might be hungry and thirsty. And then before you can ask, the other one says, they wanted to welcome you, to acknowledge the journey you are on, and to help you on your way. And they wanted to remind you to take good care of yourself, to take good care of your body. Sometimes travelers on this path don't think so much about their physical bodies. It may be the smallest part of you, but it's still important. And you won't be any good to the light if you don't take care of it. The local people here, they know that everyone who comes has at some time or another promised to carry the light. And in the meantime, the child has gone off to a sandy part of the beach and is running as if he or as if she is an airplane or a bird, arms stretched out, casting a long shadow on the beach as they go. The shadow dancing through the orangey, rosy, golden light of the setting sun, which is beginning to fall towards the horizon and has begun to transform everything else in its path. And now, looking over at the curving line of the little cottages, you notice lights in the windows, lit candles placed there in the windows facing the sea, their soft, warm glow melting into the golden light that you notice is touching everything, the stones, the sea, the glow from your fire, the glow from the setting sun, the glow from the candles, all melting together into one great warm light. And you see that the light has wrapped itself around the child like a rosy golden blanket. And now you can see that the child has grown younger in front of you. Just a toddler now, at the stage when a child begins to walk, taking their first few steps around the furniture, holding onto the legs of the adults around. The child has come to you and is reaching up to you, and you lean down and lift the child onto your lap, now just a featherweight. And you look at the child's hands, the tiny starfish, stretching out as if to touch as much of the precious air as possible, and as if to touch as much of the golden particles of light as possible. Each finger bearing the mark of a new moon at the base of the tiny, perfect fingernail. And gently, you turn one of the hands over, and you imagine you can see mapped out there in the lines and the whorls of the palm, a living map of the journey this individual soul will take as he travels, as she travels through life. And the child now, a newborn baby, lying in your arms. Those shoes that you remembered, the sneakers that you remembered, have long since fallen off the little feet. These are the feet that will walk you through all of the journeys of your life. These are the feet with which you will dance and jump and run and climb. Good, strong traveler's feet, soft now, unused, waiting to touch the ground for the first time, waiting to begin the journey. And you notice that the light from the setting sun and the light from the fire, which settled around the child like a blanket, has intensified and is touching everything you can see. And now it's impossible for you to tell if the light is coming from the outside or from the inside. And you see that you are holding in your arms now a perfect little star, and you can't see the child anymore, just this beautiful, shining, colorful light. And you remember that this is the light that you have agreed to carry. And now you remember the piece of paper in your pocket, the one where you wrote your intentions, your hopes for the future, your longings, the prayer of your heart. And you take the piece of paper out of your pocket and unfold it. And you can see that somewhere along the way, somehow, the child got a hold of the piece of paper and added a word or a few words of their own, or a drawing. And getting up from your seat on the rock, you go towards the fire and you throw the piece of paper into the flames. And you watch as the flames lick up all around the paper and it begins to burn, transforming your intentions, your prayers. And now there are bright sparks flying up out of the flames, like small stars shooting up into the sky. And looking up now into the deep blue of the night sky, you see that the stars which were up there already seem to be moving about a bit, as if making space for the stars coming from your fire. And we're coming near to the end of our journey now. If you would like to sit for a while looking into the flames, looking into the fire, looking into the night sky, you're welcome to do so. And when you're ready to start coming back, you understand that you don't have to find your way back up that hill. The way will be shorter now. In fact, it's just there, over that small bridge, the ordinary little bridge spanning the small stream that has been meandering in front of you, beside the fire, down from the hills and over the beach, and into the salt water of the sea. This little bridge, it was there all the time. And it's just a step or two, just enough to span the worlds. You are welcome to unmute yourselves if you'd like to say something.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I can't see you right now.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, where are you?
In Santa Barbara.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Renee? Is it Renee?
Yes.
Hi, Renee. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I see some faces I know. I didn't want to look before. Hi. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Terry? Was that Terry?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Terry. Thank you. You're welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. Chris from New Jersey. Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. Thank you for taking us to that magical place and for the insight. It was lovely. I'm still floating.
You're welcome. Please remember to come back down sometime.
Thank you, Tessa. It's Carol.
Oh, Carol, hi. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hi, Tessa. What was your inspiration behind this piece?
I had lots of ideas for this meditation, and I kept discarding this one, and then it would come back to me, and I just wrote it down. And the place is a place from my childhood. I grew up in Scotland, and it's a place that I live in Canada now, and it's a place that I travel to a lot when I'm feeling homesick. Or do you have a special place that you go to?
I actually have been doing some of my own meditations, and it very much has been depicted around that very like similar scene. So yeah, it was
Oh,
nice.
that's great.
Where in Canada are you?
I'm in Newfoundland. It's on the East Coast. It's an island on the East Coast.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's been an honor to lead you on this journey. I see Adriana there. Adriana,
Thank
hi.
you, Tessa. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you too.
Yeah, and I can see Anne. It's like I'm looking through the magic mirror here, seeing the faces.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Tessa.
Oh, Patricia. Hi.
The light's behind me, so I'm kind of in the dark here. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
It's lovely to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to see everyone.
Thank you. That was magical.
You're welcome,
Meital.
Meital.
Yeah, thank you. From Israel.
From Israel. How do you pronounce your name? Can you say it for me?
Meital.
Meital. Oh, beautiful. Is it nighttime there?
Almost. It's 8:30.
Good to see you, Tessa.
Hi, Seema. Hi. I'm seeing faces I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
The beautiful journey. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I want to say thank you to Randall. I felt a little bit nervous for a while, for a few days, and it was almost as if I could feel him holding a very safe kind of place for these meditations. I think that's what you do, Randall.
I think that's what I do too. Thank you. It was beautiful.
You're welcome. I think it's good. Some of you have your countries beside your names, and that's a really good idea. I think we should all be doing that.
Tessa, I just want to say thank you so very much. That was amazing. This is the first meditation I've attended on Sunday. I've been meaning to attend one, and this is the first one. I'm from outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Dana. It's good to see you. I hope you'll join us again. I think these meditations are going to continue next year. Is that correct, Randall?
Yes, they shall be. That's the intention, to keep them going.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming.
Hi, Tessa.
Hi, Maura.
Thank you for that beautiful meditation.
You're so welcome. Where are you, Maura?
I'm from Galway in Ireland.
Oh, beautiful.
So I'm on the west coast here. So it's about 6:45 here in the evening. And it's the first one I've attended as well on the sun deck. Usually I'm running around, and so today I just better dash in here to, try and bring stillness and just get a little bit more centered.
Yeah. Well, it's very good to see you.
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are you licking me for, Jay? What are you licking me for?
So I think it's time to bring this to a close. So thank you all for attending, and have a beautiful, beautiful solstice tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction where you are. Hopefully you can see it. And we'll see you next week. So thank you all for coming. Do, 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 do. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Javier. Okay. Bye, everyone.